Um, yeah, yesterday was a little bit tumultuous after the weekend. I
Mhm.
noticed a lot of emotions, kind of just strong emotions, kind of
Hmm.
floating through.
Like what kind of
Um,
emotions? Give me an idea.
oh, they would have been lower vibration emotions.
But
They were
like anger, sadness,
yeah,
frustration.
more on the anger and bitterness side.
Okay.
And
And
Mhm.
so from the kit, the Gilead. Do you have the Gilead?
Is that in the kit?
Yeah, it was on the
Okay.
kit from the weekend. It's a little
Yeah.
tiny bottle, but still
Yeah.
it's enough for this. You can take long, slow, deep breaths with that. I mean, Gilead is literally for fleshing out lower emotions.
Uh,
And sometimes I'll just do inhalations, but then if you want to make it stronger, you have a couple of choices. One is to do the arms and the legs. The
okay.
other one is to do the sex chakra. You can go up to the heart, the throat, but a lot of times if you hit the sex chakra, it is the lowest chakra associated still with the emotional body, and it's where some of this really cooks and gets going. You know what I mean? And then eventually it moves up into the solar plexus, and then affects other areas. So if
Yeah.
you use that, it can be helpful. The other thing that's helpful with anger is things like different chamomiles, like Roman, Cape chamomile, German chamomile.
Okay.
Those a lot of times will calm down the anger. The anger is parts of the body that are agitated, and sometimes what happens as you're calming everything down is some of that will kind of bubble up that is completely unconscious and really not even from the psyche. It's a lot of it is
Yeah.
from the body,
Yeah.
but it's coming up to be kind of like processed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then
That's
it
how I
doesn't
feel about
always
it.
make it somewhere, because then it's a little bit agitating. So the Gilead will clear it out. The other thing you can do is put the mugwort on the joints, and
Uh-huh.
it's still the stuff will still come up, but it will flush out like really quickly. Like
Okay.
it will be like, oh, I'm feeling some anger, but I'm gonna go for a walk.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
literally kind of like that. And
Yeah.
so if you ever like processing a lot of lower emotions, working the mugwort on the joints is really, really super good.
Right.
Sometimes, like when it just doesn't seem like it's stopping or things need to be calmed down, instead of mugwort on the joints, I'll go through and use something like vetiver or spikenard on the joints.
Uh-huh.
And
Those
the
are interesting.
reason being there is you're just calming down the peripheral nervous system, and
Mhm.
it just kind of calms the body down somewhat, the emotional body.
Okay.
And so usually that's all you kind of need is to go through and clean that up. So
Uh-huh.
Gilead or some chamomiles, and then some mugwort on the arms and legs. And if that's not cutting it, then switch over to vetiver or spikenard. And from the kit the weekend, you have the vetiver, so you can just dab some on and just rub it on the joints and call it good. But do it daily. Do it daily until things kind of subside. Like again, when I'm doing really deep like purifications and things, I mean, because that's what happens when you do deep
Yeah.
purifications. It's no rhyme or reason, it just starts coming
Yep.
up. I do a thing where I treat the arms and the legs and the feet. I rub a bunch of spikenard on the feet and,
Uh-huh.
and use the Gilead on the sex chakra. And then whatever comes
Yeah.
up, it's almost like you just kind of watch it come up and out. And so, yeah, give that a shot. And if
Okay.
that's not clearing it up, shoot us something and let us know. But shouldn't last that long. But
Yeah.
and then also remember the thing that we did on the very last thing on Saturday with the cerebral spinal fluid,
Mm.
the Cape Snowbush.
Okay.
Remember that little section? You can
Mhm.
always do that as well.
Okay. Does
Yeah.
this correlate with I noticed the tops of my ears were hot. Today the my
That's just the
palms were
energy
hot.
moving up. Yeah. That's just the energy
And my
moving up. Yeah.
large toes also.
It'll hit the jaws, it'll hit the ears. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
like kidney, because the kidneys are tied to the Ming Men. And so a lot of times when you have these lower emotions, it's taking that and trying to move it up to transmute it. And so sometimes you'll start to feel like tension in the jaws will overactivate a little bit, or your ears will get a little hot, or you'll start to have buzzing in the ears, or you'll even have your ears feel like a little bit clogged. That's almost always something kidney related, and energetically it's Ming Men, which is energy shooting up.
What is it about the that's useful to know. What is it about the tips of the big toes? What's taking place there when they get hot? Just the tips.
Reflexology, I want to say that's like the top of the head, but whenever I see like the tips of like a digit getting a little bit inflamed or irritated, I usually go to that it's most likely like a nerve ending. And so, you know, like say this is your foot, you know, you have the bones that are in the foot, like kind of pinch in between the metatarsals so that you're getting into those muscles in there. You can still use the vetiver ointment or like a chamomile, you know, something that's antispasmodic and soothing. Traditionally, I've used chamomile for this.
As an ointment apply it.
Ointment, neat, kind of doesn't matter. Just like get it in, like put it on the fingertips themselves or the tips of the toes, but then get a little bit in between the bones in the foot and kind of rub it in a little bit and still work them with like your fingers, like you're kind of pinching, you know, pinch it, hold it for about like 3 to 5 seconds and then move a little bit and pinch it again.
Okay.
And then again, in just like 3 to 5 seconds, you know, no more than a count of 10. And then move it and then move it. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to open up the bones between, or the muscles between the bones on the foot to allow the nerves to fire more appropriately.
Okay.
Most likely it's a problem that's kind of slowly happening as it's coming down your leg and you're not feeling it to the tips of the toes, but still start with the foot and just start working your way back up.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.